Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second film breakdown of the series of UMass quarterbacks. I'm Josh Schreiber of WMUA Sports, and today we're going to be looking into Ahmad Haston. He is a freshman from Palm Beach Central in Florida. Definitely we'll have a lot of eyes on him throughout the summer, seeing how he can develop and potentially even play this season. So here we go. Let's get into the breakdown. All right, so Ahmad Haston, and early on, I'm going to say that this, film breakdown of Haston is going to be a little bit different than the others just because we don't have, obviously, collegiate film of him other than what we saw in the spring game, which will be in here as well, but so a lot of these plays are going to be like unbelievable plays that he made in high school, and it's just kind of a question of whether or not can he maintain that. So I kept that in mind. So don't go into this thinking, oh, well, it's just high school, blah, blah, blah. I did keep that in mind, and hopefully you guys will see that in the breakdown. But first and foremost, Haston was unbelievable in high school last season, accounted for 50 total touchdowns. A lot of these this is all from a highlight reel. I couldn't actually get film of the individual games, which obviously is the best way to grade someone. So obviously just keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is going to be it's going to be impressive highlights. There's going to be less critique than what we saw in the Carlos Davis film, just because Davis played in actual games. Actual collegiate games. I could get good full game film of him. But without further ado, let's get into this. These first plays are going to be showing off his arm. So let's get going here. You see him stepping up, releasing from a strong base, gets almost a running start from around the 29-30 yard line. Launches that one to his receiver all the way to the 20-yard line. So a 50-yard bomb on the money already. Just very impressive there. Next play. This one is very impressive to me. He's kind of under pressure, does not have that running start. Releases it from around the 18-yard line. And he's targeting this receiver right here by the sideline. He's going to throw this one up in the air on a dime, really, just on a frozen rope, and the receiver gets it in stride. Let's just go back a little bit to this. Yeah, here we go. Obviously, the receiver wide open. His receivers were unbelievable in high school. I was looking at some of their scouting reports and whether they were actually receivers or recruited to play other positions and they just played receiver. He had some 3-4 star receivers there, so definitely of note. But either way, that was just a perfect throw. Then this third one, just a 45-yard bomb, does get a running start and just over the two defenders. Great catch by number 4 there, but put in a pretty perfect spot. Obviously, maybe if he can lead him more towards here, and maybe this can turn into a touchdown, but either way, a pretty impressive throw. All right, now on to this fourth throw, which was a 30-yard pass, so he's at around the 30-yard line. Just play it here. There you go, right into the hands of his receiver, number 4 again, for the touchdown. The one thing is we're going to go back here. As this ball is in the air, this is a perfectly placed ball. Like, the safety has no chance of catching this. The corner has no chance of catching this. But maybe in the collegiate level, the safety takes a much better angle and is not, 4 yards in front of where the receiver is, and instead knows where the receiver is going to be, and maybe makes a better play. But can't fault Haston for that at all, of course. And touchdown there. And then here we got another throw, about 45 yards in the air. Again, perfectly placed ball. And again, this safety here, number 5, I think it is, does not get a great read on this. So this ball's in the air. It's going to go to this receiver. I'm not really sure what that route concept was, but either way, you see here, this safety probably could make a play if the safety were a little better, but clearly he did not expect the ball to be thrown that far. Kind of just shows the arm that Haston does have, that it surprises some people, and this ball just keeps going, goes over the head of the safety, and is a touchdown for Palm Beach. Now into this one. This was more of a loopy throw. Again, getting hit on the throw. This one not as much of a laser and just perfectly placed right into the hands of number 7. And then finally, the last throw that I have of just complete deep ball, wide open 45-yard throw here. It's on the money, but again, this corner has no business guarding this receiver. And Palm Beach Central they beat up on pretty much everyone. I think they went undefeated last season. Or that may have been his junior year. But either way, they were a very, very good football team. So yeah, that's what I have for his deep ball. All right, so now let's move into his ability to extend plays. And this is one thing that he does so well. And keep in mind, Ahmad Haston is a smart quarterback. I was reading up on him, and all of his scouting reports were a lot of them were talking about just how smart of a player he is, and as smart of a person he is. 4.7 GPA in high school, as he says on his huddle highlight reel. But he's very smart, and you can see that in some of these plays that he's extending the play. So right here, he's in a very tough angle. He's at the back of the end zone, going to avoid the sack. And then on the run, this is the type of throw that like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are making. Obviously, not quite. And this is the high school level. There's a lot of caveats to that. But either way, look at this throw. Off the back foot while getting hit, going to number 7, who's kind of blanketed. So it has to be a really good throw, or else this could be a pick 6, easy. And instead, on the money, right along the sideline, and the receiver ends up, I think, scoring a touchdown on this play. So let's go back to this. Unbelievable. Maybe in the collegiate level, he's not able to avoid that, but either way, just the arm strength here and the arm accuracy is ridiculous. Unbelievable. Now on to the next play. Right here. So he is getting set to throw. And again, just keep in mind, these are all highlights, so that's why some of these clips are really short, where it cuts into the next clip just because that's all he had on the reel. So here we go. He's going to be throwing to this receiver right here in the pink socks. He's pretty covered right now, but he has that trust in his receiver to get open. And here we go. This is a seam shot. Has time in the pocket, and just on a laser, just right into the hands of his receiver. Just a perfect throw, and a very difficult throw to make, because a lot of times guys will just overthrow this or underthrow this, and you can't underthrow it because that's how the corner makes a pick. But right here, just perfect, right over the head of this corner right here, leading his receiver perfectly to make the catch. Then the next throw. This was a great throw, a little bit of a dangerous throw, kind of a hospital ball, but I'll play it out. So here we go, Haston. Very similar throw. His receiver gets leveled, but ended up being okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is one of those throws where you see his accuracy and his touch. And although, sure, it may not work at the college level, and it may cause your receiver to get in some trouble, but just showing that he can make this throw is unbelievable. So right in there, perfect throw. Now, let's go into this last play here of his crazy, ridiculous throws that I wanted to point out. But this is a perfect example of his anticipation and how smart he is of a quarterback. So right here, he's going to be targeting, I think this is Anthony Simpson in the slot. And right away, he's watching right here to see what he's going to have open. So this is clearly his first read. He wants to go here. And then there's some contact. This ended up being called either a pass interference or a holding. I think it was a pass interference on the defense, but he's throwing this ball right now. Simpson is not even acting like he's about to cut. Juan Lua is draped all over him. Lua, a great slot corner, but Haston knows exactly where he wants to throw this ball. He's got to get it in before the safety comes down, because you see the safety reading Haston's eyes. So here we go, makes this throw, perfectly placed, not anywhere where his receiver can really get drilled, and Simpson just not able to come up with it. Ended up being a PI, as I mentioned, but second and long, making that throw, just a ridiculous throw, even though it was not caught. So that last segment, those were some of his crazy, ridiculous throws. Some of them included extending plays, especially that first one. But here we're going to show him extending plays even more. And this is what I want to focus on, because this is what separates Ahmad Haston from Carlos Davis in my review of him. He is able to do something that not a lot of quarterbacks can do, even at the highest level, and that is always look to make the play down the field. He is not going to just tuck the ball and run immediately. He is going to stay calm, look up the field, and try to find a better play. So here we go. He is in quite a bit of trouble here. Spins around the edge rusher, steps up in the pocket, still eyes looking down the field, and he throws a strike despite being hit right to his receiver. And that is a perfect throw. Not a difficult or not an easy throw to make regardless, but he makes it while trying to avoid the sack. So let's get another look at that. He sees the edge rusher pretty much unblocked here. Nice job by him. But he's going to spin around him. And what I think Carlos Davis does here is he kind of just tries to run around and avoid a sack as long as he can, try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Davis is not only not looking to throw the ball away, but looking to make a play. And he does just that, just a perfect throw. I think he does have better arm strength than Davis as well. Davis probably tries to run here. It's Haston. He has a pretty open field, but he knows that he can get some extra yardage. So here the defenders are closing in on him. He is still looking to throw, despite, he can probably pick up a couple yards on this play at least, but he's going to look to make the bigger play, finds his receiver open down the field, makes the very difficult crossbody throw, and makes it perfectly. So let's go back here. Running, crossbody, right on the money. Now, next play here. This is just a ridiculous play. He's getting hit. He's going to get hit. I'll just play it. Here we go. He's getting swarmed by 3 defenders here, but he sees this play developing of the corner falling down here and his receiver getting open, and there's not really anyone that can get to it. So he's just going to throw this one up in the air, and this receiver thinks it's going to him, but no, it was going to number 14, makes the easy catch, and that is a touchdown, assuming it didn't get called back, but here we go right here. So receiver gets blown up right there, whether it was intentional or not. So he does a really nice job just keeping his eyes down the field, and they get a touchdown because of it. This play has me a little bit confused, where I don't think he needs to step up in the pocket. So here we go. He's way back there, steps up in the pocket. I don't think it's necessary, because if you look right here, he doesn't really have anyone that can get to him. Like, this D lineman is pretty well blocked, it looks like. But either way, he decides to step up in the pocket. And instead of running here, which is something that I saw a lot in Carlos Davis's film, that he just kind of let's go back a few. At this point, he would just tuck and run and try to get through this middle part. And especially with Davis, he can get through those D linemen, because he has blazing speed. But it comes to the point where it's like, well, then everyone knows this linebacker is completely unblocked. You could take a big hit. The defensive backs could notice. You could take a big hit again. But Haston just going to step up and make a perfect throw along the sideline to his receiver, who breaks a tackle there. But really nice play by Haston. Now let's get into his next play. Knows exactly how much time he has while running out. He sees the defenders here. He wants to throw this ball. He really does. You can tell. But he's like, okay, no, I have a wide open space. I'm going to run. get the first down, and I think he ended up coming pretty close to getting a touchdown here. So you see his eyes are still down the field. He wants to throw this ball, probably to number 14 if he can get it there. This is number 14. But he slows down here, realizes, and then just takes off, picks up the important first down. So we're talking a lot about Haston's throwing ability. Let's get into his running ability. He is a fast guy. He can run. Not the speed that Carlos Davis has, but definitely serviceable. And as you've seen, he can definitely avoid a sack. So here we go. This first play. This is a crazy freeze frame right here. He has 3 defenders in his face, not unblocked, but these 2 are pretty much unblocked, and this guy in the middle is pretty close to it. He is going to somehow avoid this sack. Maybe got away with a hold right around here, but that's not his fault. And then avoid the tackle. Obviously bad tackling here. And scores the touchdown on that play. Sure, that may not slide in college football, but still very impressive what he's able to do, to see that glimpse of what he's capable of. Obviously, he has the ability to develop physically in terms of his body mass and his speed, so I'm not too worried about that. I think that can transfer. He is a pretty big guy to begin with. 6'2", 190 is what he's listed at. And then, so the second one, he has a good feel for the pocket here. So, takes the snap, sees that, or he kind of feels that these defenders are closing in on him, so he knows, I'm going to step up in the pocket, find this open running lane, and take off. These defenders, obviously it's spring game, so they're not going to tackle him anyways, but I don't think they would have gotten him. And then right here, the linebacker kind of lets up. Hasten takes it to the end zone, and he wanted the play to count, but understandably they blew it dead. But kind of just, it shows the confidence that he has in his running ability, and that, you know, he's not afraid to pick up some yards. All right, next play. This is a designed quarterback run. He's right here, takes the snap, and this just shows he can be an absolute bulldozer. He is not afraid of running the football. So here we go. I'll just let you guys watch that. Boom. Bulldozing. Takes 3 or 4 guys to get him down. But obviously, if you're Don Brown, Steve Kasuli, you may be like, all right, let's maybe not do that in the college level because they're going to hit you pretty hard. But either way, you see the dog in him that he is a football player. Now, next play here. Follows his blockers. Nothing too crazy. Nice job with the patience, finding the running lane, and scores a touchdown out of it. For this next part, I am going to focus on the RPO, which we only have one actual clip of him running the RPO, but it ended up being a touchdown here. And the RPOs are something that I think that UMass is going to really focus on offensively this season, because when you have a bunch of guys that are good separators, but not a lot of big wide receiver threats, and you have a good running game, and you want to make things easier for a quarterback, you run these RPOs where they're going to have a lot of quick, short, easy throws to make, and hopefully give their receivers a chance to get some yards after the catch. So here we go right here. He's going to be focusing on these guys right here. So he's going to get Simpson in motion, and he's looking at Helm and Lua right here. These are 2 defensive backs. His eyes are right on them. And he is either going to hand this ball off if they sag off, which clearly they're not, so he's going to pull it back. And then he's also watching right here to see if he's going to have George Johnson on the slant or if he's going to have Simpson running this screen route. So he sees number 24 charging in, going to cover Simpson, knows immediately, let's get this ball to George Johnson, has to fire it into, not a tight window, but somewhat of a window, makes the throw perfectly. Johnson makes the catch and gets into the end zone. George Johnson was heavily underused last year. I thought that he should have been used much, much more in their system just because of the talent that he has and the speed he has. So just a great route by him to shake the defender one-on-one. Haston makes the perfect throw. And this is something I talked about with Carlos Davis, that a lot of times on these in-breaking routes, he did not lead his receiver enough and kind of threw it behind them. This is one of those instances where if you make a throw on the money, that's a touchdown, 7 points. And all of a sudden you're not settling for a field goal, which it felt like they did so many times last season. So that's just a really big play by Haston and, of course, George Johnson. And I think important for his development. All right, so this play right here, not an RPO, but it does involve, it does show off his football IQ a little bit here. So they're going to be running this little slant route. The running back is going to be coming in to try to make this play. Just running one of those Texas routes where the running back kind of runs like this and cuts in. Obviously not that wide in this case, but he's going to come in and try to make this play in the middle of the field. So what Haston has to do here is keep this linebacker away from the middle of the field as long as he can so he can get this throw off in some sort of window. So what they're going to do is they have this receiver in motion trying to fake that they're going to throw there. So he takes the snap, immediately looking right to this side of the field. Notice all of the defensive players, their eyes are on Haston. They're looking to see where he's going to go with this ball. So Haston acts like he's going to go that way, and then right before he wants to throw it, he looks back and fires it. A nice low throw to his running back to keep it away from it being a hospital ball. Well, let's watch that one more time. Eyes over here. This linebacker is watching his eyes, slowly moving over to his right. And then last second, turn, fire, perfect throw, touchdown. And that's just what Haston is so good at. Now on to Haston's quick decision making. I'm not going to get too much into this just because it's kind of similar to that last segment of this. But quick decision making does not take his time to throw. He just gets it out as soon as he sees a guy open, and that's exactly what you need to do with a team like UMass, where you're going to be looking for yards after the catch. So here we go. Sees it open right away, fires it, picks up the first down, and allows his receiver to work. That's Mark Pope. Then the next play here, maybe stares down the route a little bit, but it is third down, so there's nothing else open. Has to get it here, finds a good window to throw. Needs to get it past his 33-yard line, does so, and perfect throw on the money. Now, next play here. Again, this is easy. Looking at the middle of the field, sees this guy right here. I think that's Dorian Helm, but I can't quite tell. Sees him charging back, middle of the field wide open. He's going to make a quick throw right to the tight end, allow him to pick up the first down, yards after catch, exactly what they need. And then again, second and long, just trying to get some yards back, tries to lead Pope towards the sideline, and Pope can't break that tackle, but if he does, they have more of a third and manageable, so I like what Haston is thinking. Okay, last part, just a little bit of criticism. Again, obviously with the highlight reels, it's hard to find a lot of criticism, so I'm going to do my best just to make sure this isn't just praise, but here we go. This is supposed to be a back shoulder throw. Throws it up. Nice throw to his receiver, but a little bit too far inside. If this safety's a little bit better, probably at the collegiate level, he's going to turn and potentially make a pick here, or at least break up the pass, maybe a hospital ball again. So you'd like to, obviously it's completed here, but you'd like to see that more towards the sideline if we can get that right here. Yeah, so obviously to make it a tough catch, but you want it more towards like this back shoulder, more towards the sideline to allow the receiver to high point the ball, come down with it along the sideline. So here we go. We got an RPO action in the spring game. So what Haston is going to do, he's going to make the right read here by keeping it himself as the running back gets tackled, or would have gotten tackled. And now what he's doing is he's watching this linebacker right here. So right now, he's going to act like he's throwing it to Harding because he has two options, either keep it himself or throw to Harding. He's going to fake like he's throwing to Harding to get this linebacker off his tail, and then he's just going to keep it himself and try to just blow past the linebacker. And this is where we see that his athleticism might not be at the level that he was used to being able to do this in high school. If he does this in high school, the linebacker probably falls for it. He picks up a big yard, big gain, maybe even a touchdown, but at least the first down. But instead, the linebacker makes a good adjustment and gets to him. Obviously, you can't tackle in a spring game, but maybe what you'd like to see in the future is him to throw this ball to Harding, but then again, you don't want to risk a fumble. So, not a bad play by Haston, but some room for improvement. Also, what I wanted to point out here is that number 85, Manning, you see Dallas Elliott blocking for Haston. Manning just kind of doesn't do anything. So maybe if Manning does attack the linebacker, which is maybe what Haston is expecting, he picks up more yardage, but Manning really just stands there. So unfortunate for Haston in that sense. Now the final play, kind of a dangerous throw here. He's going to fake the throw and kind of just key in on his receiver from the beginning. And this corner right here sees it from the beginning, tries to jump this route. That's Dorian Helm. Just can't get to it. It's not a very strong throw. May have gotten tipped. I don't think it did, but it's hard to tell. And falls incomplete. But again, kind of dangerous here. If you're looking down your receiver in the corner's a little bit faster on the jump, that's an easy pick six if he's able to get to it. So just got to be careful here if you're Haston. All right, so that's what I've got for Ahmad Haston. Just to kind of finish it off, I really like Haston. I think that he has the capabilities to be the starting quarterback of the future for the Minutemen. Whether it's this year, I'm not sure, just because he's very young. They may want him to redshirt and maybe take some time to develop, not some years, but to be completely honest with you, if they start him week 1, I would be surprised, but I would be very excited to see what he can do, because this is not a team that needs to win right away. If they can get him going in the beginning of the year, so at the end of the year, they're able to win some games. I do think that he has maybe the highest ceiling of any of the guys they have. They also have Fomachon, so I'll get into a breakdown of him and maybe my mind will change a little bit. But Ahmad Haston, I think, is the real deal. He's got the arm strength. He is a smart guy. He's just got that feel of a quarterback that knows when the pocket is closing, knows when he's got to get out, knows when he's got to get rid of the ball. And I really like that. I love his athleticism. I love his ability to hopefully contribute to a new offense where they use a lot of RPOs, quick passes, and really utilize the yak ability of these receivers. So I really like Haston. I think that I would put him definitely above Davis. I don't want to spoil the rest of the rankings, but I'm really happy to see what Haston can do as a Minuteman.